In the vast landscape of video games, we are often the heroes, the architects of our destiny, forging paths through uncharted worlds. But what happens when a game turns that notion on its head, challenging the fabric of choice and free will within its digital confines? Welcome to the Stanley Parable, a game that doesn't just tell a story, but invites you to become an integral part of it. It blends humor with profound philosophical questions, creating an entertaining and thought-provoking experience. In this video essay, we will delve deep into the illusion of choice and free will, explore the enigmatic role of the narrator, navigate the myriad of endings, and examine how the game engages us on levels few others dare to reach. Join me as we step into the shoes of Stanley and unravel the layers of this extraordinary game. From the very beginning, the Stanley Parable confronts us with choices, decisions that seems to hold very significant weight. The first major fork in the road: do we follow the narrator's guidance and take to the left door, or do we assert our independence and choose the right door? This simple yet profound choice sets the tone for the entire game. It asks, are we truly in control, or are decisions mere illusions within a predetermined framework? When we follow the narrator's instructions, the story progresses smoothly. The narrator's tone is content, guiding us through a cohesive and purposeful narrative. However, the moment we deviate, the game reacts, sometimes subtly, sometimes drastically, highlighting the boundaries of our agency. Every path we take is meticulously designed, leading us to question the authenticity of our free will within the game. Even our acts of rebellion are anticipated and scripted into the very fabric of the experience. This paradox is at the heart of the Stanley Parable. It forces us to confront the possibility that in video games, and perhaps in life, our choices might be more constrained than we realize. The game utilizes this illusion of choice to delve into philosophical discussions about determinism and autonomy. It asks us whether true freedom exists within a system where all outcomes are pre-designed. Doing so entertains and engages us in a deeper contemplation of our role as a player and individual. Through its clever design, the Stanley Parable becomes a mirror, reflecting our innate desire for control and the discomfort we feel when that control is challenged or revealed to be superficial. The narrator in the Stanley Parable is more than a disembodied voice guiding us through the game. He is a character with depth, emotions, and a distinct personality. His relationship with Stanley, and by extension with us, is central to the game's narrative. When we comply with his instructions, the narrator maintains a pleasant demeanor, leading us along the path he has crafted. However, his reactions become a blend of irritation, confusion, and sometimes desperation when we deviate. This dynamic interaction adds layers to the storytelling, making it a collaborative experience between the player and the narrator. The narrator frequently breaks the fourth wall, acknowledging our presence and role in shaping the story. He questions our decisions, challenging our motives, and occasionally pleads with us to follow his narrative. This self-awareness transforms the game into a meta-commentary on the storytelling itself. His voice carries the weight of an author struggling with a rebellious character, or perhaps an audience that refuses to adhere to the script. This struggle raises questions about authorship, control, and the relationship between the creator and the consumer. The narrator's influence extends beyond the dialogue. He manipulates the game world in response to our actions. When we defy him, corridors might loop endlessly, doors vanish, or new paths could emerge. This control over the environment emphasizes his power within the game while highlighting our capacity to distrust his plans. It is a delicate dance between guidance and manipulation, with the narrator attempting to assert his authority while we test the limits of our agency. At times, the narrator reveals a vulnerable side, expressing loneliness, existential angst, or a yearning for companionship. These moments add depth to his character, making him more relatable and human. They blur the lines between antagonist and ally, prompting us to question whether we oppose him out of defiance or misunderstanding. By crafting such a multifaceted narrator, the game elevates the narrative from a simple story to a complex exploration of interpersonal dynamics and the nature of storytelling itself. One of the most captivating aspects of the Stanley Parable is its plethora of endings, each a unique thread in the intricate tapestry of the game's narrative. Unlike traditional games that often have a single conclusion or perhaps a good and a bad ending, the Stanley Parable offers a multitude of outcomes that reflects the player's choices and challenge their perceptions. Let's start with the freedom ending. Achieved by meticulously following the narrator's instructions, this ending leads Stanley out of the oppressive offense, building into a vast open landscape. The sunlight bathes everything in a golden hue, symbolizing liberation and fulfillment. But is this true freedom? Or is it a reward for obedience, a carefully crafted illusion by the narrator to encourage compliance?
Had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Contrast this with the confusion ending, where our deliberate deviations cause the narrative to unravel. The narrator becomes disoriented and the game acknowledges its structure or lack thereof, presenting us with a storyline reset. This ending breaks the fourth wall, forcing us to confront the games artificially and question the narrator's reliability.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
In the museum ending, we are granted a rare glimpse behind the curtain. We wander through a gallery displaying the game's development process, model designs, level layouts, and even discarded concepts. This meta-experience blurs the lines between player and developer, inviting us to reflect on the construction of narratives and the often invisible hand guiding our experiences. The escape pod ending takes us on a silent journey devoid of the narrator's voice. The absence of guidance is palpable as we navigate the empty corridors seeking escape. It raises questions about dependency and whether we as players truly desire freedom or a different direction. Then there is the real person ending, where our persistent refusal to follow instructions leads the narrator to question Stanley's humanity. He resets the game, expressing frustration at our unpredictability. This ending delves into themes of control and narrator's need for order, highlighting the tension between the creator and participant.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Each ending isn't just a conclusion, but a commentary on gaming conventions, storytelling, and our expectations as players. The branching paths encourage us to replay the game multiple times, each one offering new insights and raising new questions. The beauty of this multiple ending lies in their ability to make us reflect. For example, when we unplug the phone in the serious ending, we are chastised for deviating from the emotional narrative that Narrator had planned. It satirizes games that manipulate emotions through forced storytelling. Some endings, like the Heaven ending, are obscure and require meticulous exploration or even absurd actions, rewarding players who think outside the box. These secret endings enhance the game's replayability and deepen the sense of mystery and discovery. By offering such a diverse range of conclusions, the Stanley Parable challenges the traditional notion of a true ending. It suggests that the journey and our interpretations are more significant than any final destinations. It encourages us to embrace ambiguity and find meaning in the experience itself. Interactivity is the lifeblood of the Stanley Parable. Unlike games that guide players along a fixed path with limited deviations, this game thrives on player experimentation. It allows and encourages us to test its boundaries, often leading to surprising and thought-provoking results. Consider the moment when we ignore the narrator's suggestion to continue forward and step into the maintenance room. The narrator reacts with surprise and the environment adapts accordingly. This responsiveness creates a sense of agency, making us feel that our actions genuinely impact the game world. In one whimsical segment, the narrator introduces the adventure line to guide us back to the story. The line twists and turns erratically, leading us through previously inaccessible areas. This playful mechanic satirizes linear game design and mocks the idea that simply following a path equates to meaningful gameplay. Our ability to subvert narrator's expectations is a core aspect of engagement. For instance, when we repeatedly jump off the cargo lift, the narrator's growing frustration adds layer to the narrative. It is not just about defiance, it is about exploring the consequences of our actions and the game's capacity to adapt. The game is rich with hidden contents, accessible only through unconventional play. Discovering areas like the Blue Room or being sent to the Serious Room for attempting to cheat reinforces the notion that exploration is rewarded. It breaks the fourth wall, acknowledging our curiosity and sometimes mischievous nature as players. Perhaps one of the most provocative examples is the Baby Game, a test of endurance where we're asked to press a button for 4 hours to achieve a special ending. This absurd task mocks tedious or grind-heavy mechanics in other games, prompting us to question what we are willing to endure for completion. The game's reset mechanic is another layer of interactivity that keeps us engaged. After each end, we return to Stanley's office, but sometimes with subtle differences. A door ajar that was previously closed, a new corridor, or altered dialogue from the narrator. Those changes hint at a dynamic world that evolves with our actions. Exploration can also lead us to eerie or unsettling places, such as the Not Stanley room. These moments add depth and complexity, reminding us not everything in the game is as it seems. It challenges us to interpret these findings and consider their implications within the broader narrative. The game's design fosters a community of engagement beyond individual playthroughs. Players often share their discoveries, theories, and experiences, creating a collective exploration of the game's mysteries. This communal aspect enhances the game's longevity and impact. By offering a responsive and adaptive environment, the Stanley Parable elevates interactivity to a dialogue between the player and the game. It is not just about making choices, but about engaging in a conversation, where our actions elicit meaningful responses and experimentation leads to deeper understanding. This level of engagement also serves to blur the lines between the game and the reality. The game sometimes acknowledges itself as a construct, pulling back the curtain to reveal the mechanics underneath. It is a bold design choice that invites us to reflect on the nature of interactive media and our role within it. Humor in the Stanley Parable is not merely an accessory, but a vital tool that enhances the game's themes and player experience. It ranges from subtle wit to overt satire, cleverly woven into the narrative to entertain and provoke thoughts. Take, for instance, the infamous broom closet scene. When we choose to linger in a seemingly insignificant space, the narrator responds with increasing sarcasm and disbelief. His remarks evolve from bemusement to mock concern, suggesting that perhaps we found profound meaning in the closet's confines. This interaction humorously critiques over-analysis in gaming and our tendencies to seek significance where there may be none.
The story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Ah, second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Isn't here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The game also employs meta-humor to address players' behavior. If we attempt to enable cheats or manipulate the game code, we are whisked to the serious room. Here the narrator delivers a tongue-in-cheek reprimand about the importance of playing the game properly. It is a playful nod to the cat and mouse game between players and developers regarding the game exploits.
The understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of. 100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room. Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go. Whoa, did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room. I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by this crippling new punishment. As well you should be. It's the most serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
Unexpected moments, such as the narrator breaking into a song, add a layer of absurdity that delights in surprises. This musical interlude occurs as we follow the nonsensical adventure line, highlighting the ridiculousness of blindly following directions without questions. That catchy tune juxtaposes with the underlying critique of linearity in game design. In the skip button ending, the humor takes a darker, more satirical turn. We are given a button to skip the narrator's dialogue, and each press accelerates the time drastically. Years, centuries, millennia pass, and the world crumbles around us. It is a humorous yet biting commentary on our impatience and desire to rush through content, perhaps missing the value in the narrative itself. The game often anticipates our attempts to outsmart it. When we try to reach inaccessible areas or perform unintended actions, the narrator responds with clever quips or adjusts the environment to counter our efforts. This dynamic creates a comedic back and forth, acknowledging our ingenuity while gently poking fun at our persistence. By incorporating parodies of well-known games, the Stanley Parable extends its humor to the broader gaming culture. These moments are affectionate jabs at the genre conventions and popular titles, inviting us to laugh at familiar tropes and perhaps reconsider how they shape our gaming experiences. The game doesn't avoid humor, even in its more contemplative moments. The juxtaposition of profound philosophical dialogue with absurd or exaggerated scenarios balances the tone. It ensures that even as we delve into deeper themes, the experience remains engaging and accessible. The humor also disarms us, making us more receptive to the game's underlying messages. The game lowers our defenses by entertaining us, allowing its critiques and philosophical inquiries to resonate more deeply. Its strategic use of comedy that enriches the narrative without detracting from its seriousness. The wit and humor of Stanley Parable have contributed significantly to its popularity and cultural impact. Memorable lines and scenes are shared and celebrated within the gaming community, extending the game's reach and fostering a shared appreciation for its cleverness. Ultimately, the game's use of humor is integral to its identity. It entertains and enhances its exploration of complex themes, making the Stanley Parable a unique, enjoyable, and thought-provoking experience. For me, the Stanley Parable was more than a game. It was an eye-opening journey that reshaped how I view storytelling in video games. Defying the narrator and discovering new paths made me realize the depth of interactivity possible in gaming. The humor kept me engaged throughout, especially moments like staying in the broom closet to hear the narrator's reactions. It was entertaining and thought-provoking, encouraging me to explore every possibility. Ultimately, the Stanley Parable isn't just about Stanley or the narrator. It is about us, the players. It holds up a mirror to our expectations and behaviors, challenging us to think differently about choice and free will. The game, blends humor, philosophy, and player engagement, creating an entertaining and enlightening experience. It is a testament to the potential of video games as a medium for deep storytelling and personal reflection. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. The Stanley Parable has left a lasting impact on me, and I hope it inspires you to think about the games you play in new ways. I would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below. See you in the next video.